Namaste. Myself, Dr. Soumya Hullanavar. I'm a Chief Consultant at Diabetes Reversal Care in Bangalore. So I'm over here today to talk on the topic why we have to take care of prediabetes, or in precise, I would say, why it is essential to nip prediabetes or diabetes reversal condition in the bud. So when it is growing or when it is in the stage of a bud, the prediabetes, why we have to make sure it has to be taken care, because prediabetes is a condition which is very much reversible. So diabetes reversal condition, one of the diabetes reversal condition is prediabetic. So why we have to get this pre-diabetes should be treated at the initial stages so that you will never become a diabetes. It is very important. Like there are many surveys keeps going on in that in 2021 our survey says around 77 million of people are suffering from diabetes, and equally there are pre-diabetic patients. I mean, the same number of patients in India are expected to be pre-diabetic, or they are going to be diabetic. They are pre-diabetic or going to be diabetic. And so it is almost the equal. I would say the 50% of the 77 million people who is there, in that at least 25 to 30% who becomes a diabetic would start with a type 2 diabetes. So that's where it comes a role of reversal treatment. So let's see how and why we have to take care of the prediabetes. I give you some statistics so that would make you understand. So I would say let's start with what are the causes of the prediabetes. I would say the sedentary lifestyle is very much a very common causative factor. But before I speak about that, when did the sedentary lifestyle has really led to many prediabetic patients is post-COVID. So I would say it's a post-COVID era time. So in this, I'm beginning to see there are people went into a really a bad sedentary lifestyle. I would say like they started staying at home, and they were very conscious that they started really having the refrigerated food. So if you remember the initial days of COVID, so the people started literally stocking the vegetables or fruits or whatever they were getting. It has reached to a level like the humans wouldn't get the food anymore. So the people started really having the storing the canned foods or preservatives kind of foods completely back in the refrigerators. So as they started eating those foods, and they are not going out, and we were literally afraid to talk to each other. So forget about the going out. We were not even making our any energy to burn until we could bring. Only energy was, only one emotion was of a fear and staying away from COVID. That was the, I would say, the prioritized work of every person during that COVID era. So that is the one, the post-COVID era, I'm able to see the patients with more pre-diabetic symptoms. I would say they have not completely turned diabetic, that are quite young, 25 to 30, 35 max. I'm seeing that most of 35, 27 years old people, they are like in the verge of like they are hitting the 40 plus, and if they had already a hereditary or any influences, they were at the verge of developing a diabetes, and they got a triggering fracture. That was during the COVID years. So I would say the post-COVID, I could see that there were people who were like very sedentary. And one more positive factor with that, if I need to go away, I would say like they studied many patients who really took a very high steroids, and they had no other options to survive. So it was like it has become a task to survive and go. But there is a saying like, one-eyed man is a king in the kingdom of blind. So it's like you just have to survive. So that's okay to get any other diseases, but not COVID. So that's the time I saw like many pre-diabetic had a very high steroids who became later into a pre-diabetes, and many doctors have also told that if you were being exposed to really high, so high steroids were also a reason post-COVID. I would say the many people started becoming pre-diabetic and the sugar level started shooting up. So other than that, the people also started really getting into work stress, as I already mentioned. The people started, then yes, it was a break for an year or two. So they wanted to cover up that speed or whatever they have lost in the last 1 or 2 years. They wanted to cover that up. So they started running behind it more and more. That is started making that workaholic, or any workaholic, I would say, the stress levels, the hormones in the body started really a kind of impairment, I would say. So because many patients came to us post-COVID, and let's say if whatever the major diseases they were coming, the major, associated symptom was anxiety or depression. So that has become at least 60% of the patients we attended to any other severe cases. There were many area cases like necrosis cases. There were more of autoimmune diseases. Along with that, they always came up with anxiety as a major symptom, or I would say like associated symptom. So this is about the major causative factor what I saw in the pre-diabetes, because the survey I quoted was like 77 million. That was in the year like 2021. So that was according to the National Center of Biotechnology. So the people who have done the research on that. So like we talk about the symptoms, and I have to mention there are like many patients ask, Debra, I never got to know or I never experienced pre-diabetes. I would say that if you're really a person who understands your body better, then you will always, your body will always give you a hint that way towards what they are doing. You will always understand what exactly is happening with my body. In that way, now maybe you haven't observed that there will be a mild symptoms. You will start feeling lethargic, or you will start craving for a particular dairy products or a high protein or a sugar, or you will also start feeling like sleepy at the night. So these are the major things we can say. Symptoms, pre-diabetes symptoms, but you will know, you start ignoring it, and we are also very good at not accepting the things, I would say. Like, okay, no, I think I didn't sleep well yesterday, so my body is tired. So it is okay to be sleepy post-manage and feeling lethargic. Maybe my mood swings have started, or maybe my periods are there. So we just try to acknowledge whatever is happening. I'm not saying you have to be really overprotecting yourself, but you should be able to understand the difference between your body's symptoms and what it is not normal or what it was not natural to your body. And if you're a person who already had a habit of sleeping at night, daytime, then you won't be able to differentiate that symptoms. But never ever it happens. You will always gives your signal or a symptom, pre-symptoms before developing any particular diseases. So, coming to that, if you want to understand, and you will at least knowing the positive factors, whatever is said, like you were exposed to those particular causes, then you're always prone to get into that. You can expect you would develop the diabetes. If that is the case, then what you have to do is you can have yearly checkup, or at least a 6 months once. You can have an HbA1c. That is like 3 months, I think it is what we say, and we will be able to understand last 3 months how was your sugar levels, or let's say your insulin metabolism, how it was maintained in your body. We would understand in the last 3 months. So I would say you get that done every 6 months, and if it is really crossing, if it is anything more than 5.4, then you're towards pre-diabetes. So that will also one of the diagnostics. That's the same for us. You have to give the blood. So that is also one of the things you can keep yourself under a radar to check yourself. Are you going towards the pre-diabetes or no? It is. So other than that, you will have the other few more tests like glucose tolerance test and that you can get it in every 3 months and check yourself. Is it all if you're being exposed? I mean, say like you had scared yourself or you had to be really over concerned about it. But yes, you can do those tests. So, yes. So there are like people, they also ask me why we should be detecting it so early. I do we have a be diabetes. So let me just, because I won't say that way. The patient tells me that whatever I ask them, did you rule out when they share the symptoms with me? If I ask them, did you rule out diabetes? Did you put any A1C testing? They say, doctor, no, I'm very scared to get that test done. If you don't, if it is positive, let me just get the test, let me just postpone the diagnosis a bit further. Because once I recover diabetic, either way I'm going to be a diabetic. So let me just be at peace till the time I get to know. See, that's a very, very wrong way of the thing, that's a very wrong thought. You should be always careful about. See, the earlier you detect, the earlier the possibility of reversal. You have to understand that pre-diabetic condition, that's what is white topic I answered in the initial. It's a diabetic condition which is reversible. So when you have a chance, as early as we can detect, it is more easy to treat you, or it is more easy to make sure that we can reverse that disease as early as possible. So it is very necessary to identify if you are under like anything, like if you have started with any symptoms, please go to your doctor and share the symptoms. And if your doctor predicts that you might have a diabetes, then please roll off with any required diagnosis. I'm not saying you have to really go for very fine interventions of the diagnostics. Why do you think go with a simple A1C on the fasting blood sugar? You can also get your urine sugar down. Sometimes there is a possibility there could be a leakage of sugar in your urine also. But blood sugar shows normal. That is also a concern. So you're at the stage of pre-diabetic me. So that's very important. So if you ask me like, why should I really get it diagnosed as early as possible? Because you are at least you still have a chance or opportunity to reverse it. Instead, if you come to me with a complete complications, like you have started with a neuropathy or a nephropathy, and then only you got to know that you are diabetic, so your diagnosis is delayed. So definitely, it is not as such possible for a reversal. So that's the one thing. So let's speak about few treatment aspects. I'll tell you basic things if you're already a pre-diabetic and you have not started any medication. I would advise not to start unless you are really, because pre-diabetic values, you might be having it around 110 or 120. Otherwise, we consider as pre-diabetic, and I will definitely advise you any kind of huge medications or something. But try to correct three things. One is your diet or the food timings. That's very, very important. The sleep timings and your motions. So all these three things should be perfect. Like whatever I eat, I am eating all the time. And whatever it feels from my body, it is clear. I'm not really pressuring, or I'm not really constipation or something. And the last thing what I said is like, you have to be very, very careful about your sleep, because your stress is also a reason that you can't sleep, or you might have your workload, or you have a family commitments, you go to bed and leave at 1 o'clock. That is the time the water pollution in the nature is so much. So your brain has to sleep. It really needs to rest. And you're not letting, let's say like you had your food at 8 o'clock, and let's say by 9:30, 10 it is be digested. So all your organs wants to go to bed. They want to relax. They have been working from morning to evening. So, but I have kept my brain awake. So I'm watching something or I'm doing something on my gadgets. So I'm not ready to sleep. Then also your body needs some energy. So where does the energy comes from? Insulin. So please understand, your sleep is directly related to your sugar levels. So some patients we also say, like, is it all if you have not slept good, then I ask them to skip their breakfast for the next morning. I'll ask them to get it done after a day or two. Because it definitely matters to me. 48 hours is your blood circulation. It keeps running in your blood. So if you have not slept properly. So correcting these basic things, along with that, yes, definitely if you're not an active person, then you have to start implementing few exercises. You have to make sure you're giving yourself for time. Maybe like, let's say keep it 30 minutes if you're really a busy person. Morning 30 minutes, evening 30 minutes. Just a simple cardio is walking, I would say. Please go for a walking or a jog, or just wear the shoes and just go out. go for a job, that's more than enough. That burns a lot of required. I won't say the calorie wise, because I know even I restrict my diabetes patients to take that particular calories. No. I only make sure they are having the proper proteins, carbs, and the fructose, or let's say natural sugar. What is the fundamental for the body to survive, and that is in a sufficient quantity. And I also make sure a person is sweating or burning those meter or the fat exercises that should be till the time he sweats from his scalp. So, but some patients also ask, like, doctor, I just start sweating from my axilla back immediately. But if I go for an hour or so, my scalp never sweats. That's why you have a stubborn a fat metabolism. So you definitely have to sweat from your scalp. I would ask you to start sweating from day 1 or 2. But yeah, it might be like you take the first day, start with 30 minutes, then you press 10 minutes more, 10 minutes more. You can go up to 1.5 hours to 2 hours. That should be more than enough to take care if you're in a pre-diabetic stage to reverse that particular diabetic condition. So, sleeping or the food habits, the diet, especially the timing, and keeping your bowel movements clear and understanding your hungers. Like, it's not just I feed like, okay, nowadays, so whomever I asked, how is your what exactly you want to. It's like, how is your appetite? So he asked me, if I just eat on time, 8-1-8. I appreciate you're eating on time, but you should also be feeling hungry. And you're also eating on time at every day the same quantity. No, that's not enough, because you are also aging, or your cells are also aging. Your metabolism might be like, let's say, at the age of 20, you were having 3 or 4 chapati. You can't be eating the same thing at the age of your 40. You just feel like 2 is enough for me. Or the energy you used to spend, you might feel with sports, everything in your childhood. You're not with the same energy spending. So you should also understand, though I still feel hungry. I agree. Definitely, I would say like there's not a people as such who is really craving for a one-time food or something. Nowadays, at least people are very affordable for a one-time food for the day. So at least you should understand, is that a hunger or just, it is a gastric issue. Many people come to us, they won't understand the difference between the hunger and the gastric issue. So where are we leading to? I'm not able to understand my hunger or sleep. That for what am I living model? Like, what am I really doing to my body? What can I expect? I would appreciate your body is still able to take care this much and to understand and live without a disease. Then you are the lucky person, I can say. Anyways, so it's all about the pre-diabetes, what I spoke. So if it is very, very necessary to understand, and it's very essential to leave the pre-diabetes or diabetes reversal condition at the birth, so that you would never become a diabetes, and I would never contribute to my country as a one-world diabetic patient, and we should not put us Indians as a really most diabetic country. So this is all about pre-diabetes, and we have to take care, and it can be managed to a reversal if you're in a state of pre-diabetes. Thank you.